What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy. Can't tell you shit. Hey man, we are Lled. Let's see man, turn. Today, motherfucker day. You're heading outside. Big crip in it. Gang, you're heading outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia do your thing, and Texas stand the fuck up. Each day is a new day to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down, also like back. Never let somebody tell you are, but also put yourself in the position of belong. Let's stay humble. Let's get on the revolution. On the move. Keep Yahweh first. Coming to you as a black Hebrew Israelite, as a real Jew. Alright. Today, motherfucker day, you're heading outside. Big crip in it. Gang, you're heading outside shit. Alright, gang. So look at this BS. Rodney Hinton. Bruh, I've been saying this. Police are not our friends. They gotten too damn comfortable killing niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, almost every encounter, they either trying to whoop a nigga ass or kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? And then when they do it, they try to blame the nigga they killed. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, man. Just like Sonya Massey. They shot her in cold blood. But somehow, the cop tried to play like he was the victim. Oh, I felt like he was trying to throw water at me. Hot boiling water. The fuck? So you killed her? So it's like, the dude, they trying to say that the car he had was stolen. Which we don't know. Cops can make up anything. You know when cops come at motherfuckers, niggas already jittery. These niggas trying to flee the scene. One of these niggas fell. And, you know, some shit fell out of his pocket. They trying to say it's a mag. Like it was just a clip. But we don't even know if anything fell out of his pocket. So they ran. He running. The cop just shot him. So it's just like his dad came through and got revenge on the cops. Because they killed his son. The only person who got shot was his son. So his dad came through, Rodney Hinton, and did what it did. So we got the videos, man. This is pretty kind of graphic, you know what I'm saying? Because Crip, you know what I'm saying? These crackers think like it's sweet. Like they can just kill anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, white people. Why they think they can do this? They get a little bit of power, they just going crazy. So, we come to combat that shit, man. Free that nigga Rodney Hinton, and let's get into this video.
Black officer refuses to leave Rodney Hinton alone in elevator with 3 white officers.
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to break, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
An Ohio man has been charged with aggravated murder after police say he struck a sheriff's deputy with a car. Prosecutors say the case is linked to another killing the previous day.
This is a most unusual case.
On Thursday, a Cincinnati police officer fatally shot an armed 18-year-old as he ran from what police described as a stolen car. Authorities say Ryan Hinton was one of 4 men who were fleeing after officers found them in the car. An officer says it appeared to him that Hinton pointed a gun at him, but the officer's body camera footage does not clearly capture the moment. The officer who shot Hinton has not been publicly named. Police said they recovered a handgun they say Hinton had been carrying. It had not been fired, according to the Cincinnati police chief.
Ryan was a sweet, gentle giant. We as black people, we don't deserve to be killed just because we're running away from the police.
Being in a stolen car, having a firearms, we're in Ohio, so you can open carry in Ohio. So that's not a death penalty.
The next day, his father, Rodney Hinton Jr., became distraught while watching police body camera footage of the killing, his family attorney told the Cincinnati Enquirer. Hours later, prosecutors allege Hinton purposefully struck and killed long-serving Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson as he was directing traffic at a commencement.
I don't think he was a cop killer. I think he was not in his right mind. And I think he should be treated like any other mentally ill person that commits a crime under the auspices, control, and authority of a mental defect in a condition. That's what we have in this case.
This deputy right here, okay?
That's Rodney Hinton Jr. on his way to court to answer to charges that he ran his car into a sheriff's deputy hours after meeting with police to view body camera footage of an officer shooting his son a day earlier. What does the body-worn camera video reveal? I take a look at the new footage just released. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Body camera footage of Rodney Hinton Jr. has just been released. It shows him in the hours after he's accused of intentionally hitting and killing a sheriff's deputy in his car in Cincinnati. Hinton is charged with aggravated murder in the death of Deputy Larry Henderson. Aggravated murder is the most serious murder charge a person can face in the state of Ohio, and it's possible that prosecutors could pursue the death penalty against Rodney Hinton. Police say Hinton intentionally drove his car into Deputy Henderson in Cincinnati on Friday, May 2nd, just outside of the University of Cincinnati. Henderson was a retired sheriff's deputy who was working a detail directing traffic for the university's graduation ceremony when police said Hinton drove into him as Henderson stood on the sidewalk wearing his uniform and a bright vest. Police in Cincinnati say a short time before this happened, Rodney Hinton Jr. left a meeting with Cincinnati police where the chief and other city officials had shown him and his family body camera video of his son, 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, being shot by a police officer the day before.
This is the other officer, the one who fires the shot. This is his body camera as he approaches the scene.
We stopped that video right before the shots were fired. The police chief said Ryan Hinton was in a stolen vehicle that had been stopped by police, and he ran with a gun in his hand.
This is the firearm that was recovered at the scene after the individual was shot. This is what he had in his hand while the officers were chasing him.
After viewing the footage, police say Rodney Hinton Jr. was understandably upset. He left the meeting, and more than an hour later, the call came in that Deputy Henderson had been hit by a car near the University of Cincinnati. Henderson worked for the sheriff's office, not the police department. After being taken to the hospital to be checked out, Rodney Hinton was taken to the police department to be interviewed by Cincinnati police detectives who would investigate Deputy Henderson's death. Then it was time for him to be taken to jail after being charged with aggravated murder.
We're going to get you where you're going, okay?
Can you stand up for me, sir? I'll put this around your waist. Are you able to stand on your own?
Walked up here.
Here, use this hand to hold you. I'm gonna put this hand.
Have a seat, sir. Sit down.
Yeah, now the outburst goes on. Hinton is escorted out of the courtroom. They finally get things under control, and Hinton returns to the court for this hearing to hold him on no bond. It's a special hearing. It requires evidence to be presented. A prosecution called a Cincinnati police detective who said Hinton had been at the police station to meet with the chief and to see body cam of police from the day before. That body cam showed officers shooting Hinton's son, Ryan Hinton, to death. And it came as they stopped the stolen car. After leaving that scene and seeing this video, the detective said Hinton was very emotional. Family didn't even want him to drive home. He didn't, but he came back later to get his car, and then he headed to the area of the UC campus where Deputy Larry Henderson was directing traffic for the UC graduation. The detective said Hinton picked out the first officer.
Hey, gang. Free Rodney Hinton, man. They took out his son, and so he took out the cop who was part of the situation. His son getting taken out, and his son didn't even do nothing, you know. And now we got Rodney Hinton locked up in jail, and fuck 12 trying to scare him, but like act like they didn't kill his son.
He could face the death penalty if convicted. Let's listen in to Judge Jody Lubers.
Today because Mr. Hinton has been indicted by the grand jury on the two charges, 2 counts of aggravated murder with death penalty specifications, 1 count of murder, a specialty felony, and 2 counts of felonious assault. Mr. Hinton, if you want to be represented by an attorney but cannot afford one, I will appoint 2 attorneys who are certified by the Ohio Supreme Court to handle death penalty cases. If you hire your own attorney, he or she does not need to be death penalty certified. You can hire 1, 2, or as many lawyers as you want or can afford. If you are indigent and need an attorney appointed, I will select 2 attorneys that are certified by the Ohio Supreme Court. It is my understanding, sir, that you wish to hire your own attorney, and in fact, that you have retained Mr. Bennett to represent you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett, you are representing him, isn't that correct? Okay, thank you so much. I do need to tell you, Mr. Hinton, I do believe that you have qualified for public defender appointment. Is that correct, Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in fact, was an affidavit prepared regarding his indigency?
Yes, Mr. Hinton was in today on court. He is qualified briefly, qualified in the past.
Look at them pussy ass cops in the
and was
back.
that affidavit filed with the clerk's officer with the courts?
Don't like when they take out one of y'all pussy ass cops. Fuck y'all. Y'all man, y'all take out our people all the damn time, pussies.
Okay, and thank you so much for that. That does not get filed with the clerk's office. Okay, just wanted to check and be sure. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that, being here. Okay, all right, so you have Mr. Bennett as your attorney. That's fine. We're good to go. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And so what we will do is we will begin with the reading of the indictment. So, Sarah, if you would like to begin. First I will ask, has the defendant been served with a copy of the indictment? Okay, wonderful. And is counsel prepared to waive any defects in the service of the indictment?
solely.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Ms. Sarah.
So this is case number B25-02219, Rodney L. Hinton. You've been indicted with 2 counts, aggravated murder with specification, capital death penalty cases, 1 count murder, special felony, 2 counts felonious assault. You've already stated that you received a copy of the indictment. How do you plead?
By the hand of defendant. Documents, excuse me.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Hinton, I need to go over some rights with you, okay? So, the first and the second count of the indictment are aggravated murder. And it is what is called a special felony. And it carries with it the possibility of the death penalty, which may be imposed, making this what we call a capital murder case. Although a capital murder case is procedurally much more complicated, most of the rights you have in a death penalty case are the same as any other type of criminal matter. The aggravated murder charge is also accompanied by one specification, which we will talk about in just a minute, okay? You are presumed to be innocent, which means the state of Ohio has to prove that you are guilty if they can. They do this by calling witnesses to the stand and presenting evidence. All the witnesses have to testify in your presence, and your attorney will have the right to cross-examine each of these witnesses to test their truthfulness, and this is the right of confrontation. You have the right to call witnesses also, and if there are any witnesses who will not come to court voluntarily, I will order them by court to court by way of subpoena, and this is the right of compulsory process. You have the right to have this case heard by a jury of 12 people. They would hear and decide the evidence. All 12 must be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt of your guilt in this case in order for you to be convicted. If the jury finds you guilty of the crime and the specification, they can recommend the imposition of a death penalty. They can also recommend one of the life sentences options, which I will talk about in just a minute. In the alternative, you have the right to waive a jury and have the case tried to a 3-judge panel. In this event, myself and 2 other judges would hear the case, decide the evidence, and if necessary, determine the sentence. The trial will be bifurcated, that is, divided into 2 parts. One is the trial phase with either the jury or the 3-judge panel, and the second is the sentencing phase, which would happen if you have a jury or a 3-judge panel. Either way, there's still 2 phases to the trial. Okay? You understand? Okay. At the trial phase, the jury or the 3-judge panel will determine whether the state has proved beyond a reasonable doubt the crime of aggravated murder and whether the aggravated circumstances in the specification have been proven, also beyond a reasonable doubt. If you are found guilty of the principal offense, but not guilty of the specification, I will sentence you to one of the following sentences: life imprisonment without possibility of parole, life imprisonment without parole for 30 years, life imprisonment without parole for 25 years, or life imprisonment without parole for 20 years. If you are found guilty of the principal offense and the specification, we will move to a second phase of the trial, known as the sentencing phase. The sentencing phase is presided over by the same jury or the same 3-judge panel that heard the trial. At this phase, the state has the burden of proving that aggravating circumstances are sufficient to outweigh the factors in mitigation. The aggravating circumstance in this case is that the offense was committed and that the victim, Larry Henderson, was a law enforcement officer, and you had reasonable cause to know or knew he was a law enforcement officer, and either at the time he engaged in his duties or it was your specific purpose to kill a law enforcement officer. The prosecution has a burden of going forward with evidence that proves the aggravated circumstance. You have the burden of going forward with evidence of any factors in mitigation of the death penalty. Mitigating factors are those that lessen your moral culpability or diminish the appropriateness of the death penalty as a sentence. They can include your age, lack of prior criminal record, mental illness, etc. Just about anything can be a mitigating factor. The crime itself is not an aggravated circumstance, but it can be a mitigating factor depending upon the nature and the circumstance of the offense. You have the right to present evidence in the sentencing phase and have the right to compulsory process at this phase also. You have the right to remain silent at both the trial phase and the sentencing phase. This means no one can call you as a witness for the state. Whether or not you testify is up to you and your attorney. If you exercise your right to remain silent at the trial phase, the prosecutor is not allowed to comment on your silence, and I will instruct the jury not to hold your silence against you. At the sentencing phase, you can remain silent. You can testify under oath or make an unsworn statement. If you make an unsworn statement, you will not be subject to cross-examination. If the jury finds beyond a reasonable doubt that aggravating circumstances outweigh the mitigating factors, they will recommend a sentence of death. It is then incumbent upon me to make my own determination based upon a similar weighing process whether death is the appropriate sentence. If I agree with the jury's recommendation, I will impose the death penalty. If I do not agree with the jury's recommendation, I will impose a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, or life imprisonment without parole for 30, 25, or 20 years. If the jury does not find beyond a reasonable doubt the aggravating circumstance outweighs the factors in mitigation, then one of the life sentences will be imposed. I will not be permitted to impose the death penalty without the unanimous recommendation from the jury. The verdict in the sentencing phase does not necessarily have to be unanimous. A single juror may prevent a death penalty recommendation by finding that the aggravating circumstance in the case does not outweigh the mitigating factors. However, all the jurors must agree before they can recommend a death penalty. If the jury is deadlocked and cannot reach a verdict at the sentencing phase, one of the life sentences will be imposed. If the case is being tried to a 3-judge panel, a single judge can prevent the death penalty just like a juror can. If all 3 of the judges agree the mitigating circumstances outweigh the mitigating factors, the death penalty will be imposed. If the judges do not all agree on the death penalty, one of the life sentences will be imposed. A verdict resulting in the death penalty is automatically appealed to the Ohio Supreme Court. They will engage in the same weighing process as the jury and the judges to determine if the death penalty is appropriate. The indictment that you are facing also has additional charges besides the 2 aggravated murder charges. There is a count 3, which is a murder, which is a special felony, and that is charge that carries 15 to life as a maximum penalty. There are also 2 felonious assault charges. Those are felonies of the first degree, and each one of those carries a possibility of 3 to 11 years at the Ohio Department of Corrections. Mr. Defendant, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
And are you under the influence of alcohol or any drugs?
No.
Are you taking any medications right now?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
What medications are you taking, sir?
Laxapro.
I'm sorry?
Laxapro.
I can't hear you.
Laxapro.
Maxiprone? Laxapro. And what is that for, sir?
Judge, I'm on a
I'm just asking to make sure that he knows what he's doing today so that he's of clear mind. I ask all because he's entering his plea, that he's not intoxicated, he's not loopy, he's not under the influence of any drugs. I'm not trying to pry into anything, sir, but just to make sure he knows what he's doing here today.
I think he's fully aware of what's going on.
So you don't think he's high on drugs, that he's competent to stand here today? That's all I'm asking, Mr. Bennett.
I don't think, I think he understands.
I hope he get free. That's all you gotta say.
All right. Then the plea is not guilty and will be entered as such. And anything else from the state?
Can't do nothing wrong, bitch.
All right, thank you so much. Anything else from you, Mr. Bennett? I know that it's been a no bond hearing has been set and heard by Judge Yates, and the bond is currently no bond. Okay, anything further from anyone? Okay, I have a couple other further things that I want to say. All right, the defendant will be held and continue to be held without bond. Okay, I have a few more rights that I need to go over with you, Mr. Hinton. You have the right to have your case heard within a speedy amount of time. Generally, a person charged with a crime has the right to have their case heard within 270 days of that arrest. This incident supposedly occurred on May 2nd of 2025, and as soon as your statutory trial date should be somewhere around the beginning of February of 2026. There is a separate statute that says you have the right to have your untried indictment against you to be tried within 180 days of making a demand that your case be brought to trial. You would have to make that demand directly to the court and send a copy to the prosecutor. If you have done that, then the untried indictment date would be on or about beginning of November of 2025. You also have a right to a speedy trial under the United States Constitution, but there is no math in the analysis of this right. Rather, there are a number of factors that the court must consider. I'm going to set this case for a scheduling conference in the next week. At that time, we're going to pick a trial date, and between now and then, the attorneys are going to talk. Your attorney is going to talk to you about whether or not you want to waive your right to a speedy trial or not. If you are not going to waive a speedy trial, then we need to figure out when the speedy trial date is and set that case appropriately. If you have any questions about what your speedy trial date is, you need to talk to your attorney and have them advise me on this issue. In addition to the scheduling conference next week, I anticipate there are going to be a number of pretrial hearings and conferences between now and the trial. Because this is a capital murder case, you are entitled to have an extraordinary level of due process. This necessitates that I check on things with you from time to time where ordinarily we wouldn't have talked between now and the trial. I also might ask you how you're being treated in the jail, how the food is, how things are, and how you're getting along yourself and with your defense team and things like that. We're not going to discuss the merits of the case, your trial strategy, or anything of that nature. But if there is something going on with you that affects these proceedings, I'm going to want to know about that and what it is, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to hear about every little disagreement you have with your attorney, if there are any. I'm used to do this kind of work, and I know that from experience, sometimes there are disagreements and they're going to happen, so that's really pretty normal. But if there is a breakdown in communication with you and your attorney, or if no one's visiting in the jail, or you're locked up, or following any witnesses or discovery, I'm going to want to know about that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put down a preliminary case management order that will probably be next week after the pretrial. And so that's going to list the caption of the case, how things are going to proceed, when motions will be filed, how they should be captioned, who's going to use letters, numbers, a whole list of information about how I want this trial to proceed from both attorneys so there's no misunderstanding, so we're all on the same page and so that everything goes forward smoothly. At this Next conference that we're going to have, the scheduling conference, I would like to discuss a tentative date for the state to provide initial discovery and a bill of particulars, procedure for the retention of experts by the defense, and set that trial date. I would like to also talk about any competency issues or any sanity issues that might be raised, if any. I would also be in a position to pick a lot of the dates and the deadlines for everything that's going to happen in this case. I would also like the defendant to remain retained in the Claremont County Jail. Okay, so I'm going to put on an order at setting the bond, keeping it remaining at no bond. I'm going to set the next scheduling date. I would like to meet next week. Are you all available next Thursday? And that would be what day? I'm sorry? 22nd. May 22nd. Could everybody meet? Do we have could we meet at like, do you want to meet at 9 or maybe 11? What would be better for council? Okay, thank you. 11 o'clock. So May 22nd at 11 o'clock. And then I'm going to put on the order that the defendant remained housed at the Claremont County Jail. Is there anything further from the state? Is there anything further from the defense? Okay. All right. Thank you all very much. We'll see you all next Thursday.
We're just hearing from Judge Jody Lubers. This was the hearing for Hinton Jr.
You're waiting
So another not guilty plea on 2 counts of aggravated murder with death penalty specification. Another count of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault. He will stay in the Claremont County Jail until a sentencing hearing next week, and then potential trial in November or February.
Right, and she mentioned this is a capital murder case, so there will be what she called an extraordinary level of due process, so even more checking in than maybe a normal trial or a normal case would ensue. So we will be keeping you updated on all of that, and of course have the latest updates coming up at noon.
Shout out to Runaway Slave. We got police Ohio wanted Rodney Hinton dead, man.
Thanks to all my subs and supporters who watch, like, share, and comment on the videos. It's greatly appreciated. Anybody who would like to support the channel, the link to my book, The N-Word is No Secret in the Service, is in the description of every video. We also have the Runaway Slave store, link in the description. Go grab yourself a souvenir or something like that. Let's cook. This situation out of Cincinnati, Ohio is wild. This brother Rodney Hinton, 38 years of age, he's cased up. And he's cased up because he ran his car into a Hamilton County Sheriff deputy while this deputy was working a traffic detail near the University of Cincinnati. He's driving his car. He runs into this sheriff officer, kills him while he was driving. The officer is gone, okay? He took this officer's life driving. Now, most of the time people will say, well, what happened? How did this happen? Was he under the influence? Was it a chase? Is he diabetic? Was this a medical emergency? What happened? How did somebody just run into a sheriff and hit him while they're working, or a police officer? Just, no accident, no nothing. Just run into him, they say. Now, as of now, I don't know if Rodney Hinton Jr. was under the influence of drugs, if it was a medical emergency, or if he was swerving away from something. I don't know. Now, the reason why this story is interesting is because just one day before Rodney Hinton Jr. hit and killed this officer, his son, Ryan Hinton, was shot and killed by a police officer during a police pursuit involving a stolen vehicle, allegedly. His 18-year-old son, the day before he hit this police officer with his car, who was out working, his 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton, was shot and killed by a police officer during a police pursuit involving a stolen vehicle, allegedly. This is what the police are saying. This is what they're saying. Now, I'm going to read what they said right here. During an earlier press conference Friday, the chief said an officer shot and killed 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, who jumped out of a stolen vehicle Thursday morning. Officers from Cincinnati Police Department Fugitive Apprehension Squad, along with other uniformed officers, approached a stolen vehicle at an apartment in East Prince Hill when 4 men jumped out the car and ran. Video and still images from officer body camera footage show Ryan Hinton appeared to fall on the concrete before he continued to run. Officers say they saw him carrying a gun and heard the gun hit the ground when he fell. That cannot be seen or heard in body camera footage. The man ran through 2 nearby dumpsters where an officer was already on the other side with a gun drawn. The chief said another officer at the scene told the officer behind the dumpster that Ryan Hinton was armed. Video shows Ryan Hinton attempted to run away from the officer, but the officer could be heard saying "gun" before multiple shots rang out. He was later pronounced dead. Police retrieved the gun with an extended magazine attached near where Ryan Hinton was shot, and a magazine was found in his sweatshirt pocket. However, the chief said there is no evidence that the 18-year-old fired his gun at all. Okay, now check. Law enforcement in Cincinnati, Ohio are saying, look, man, this father, Rodney Hinton Jr., hit the officer with his car as retaliation for his son being shot and killed a day prior. They're saying this is all-out vigilante justice, and these people are already calling for the death penalty for this man. They went to his first court arraignment deep to intimidate. That's what officers do when there's an officer down or there's a major case involving or concerning police officers. They show up deep. They call it support, but they do it to intimidate whoever is there, okay?
He mourns his deputy's loss. The man accused of hitting him is still in the hospital. He's facing charges and is in critical condition. WCPO 9 News reporter Alex Knoll breaks down what led up to all of this and where the investigation stands tonight.
At Domino?
Around 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, Cincinnati police say a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy was directing traffic at this intersection of Martin Luther King Drive in Corryville. Police say that's when the deputy was hit and killed by a driver. Police say the deputy was helping control the flow of traffic prior to UC's commencement ceremony.
The officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati.
The deputy was transported to University Hospital where he later died. That news was announced during a joint press conference with Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi and Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey.
Our deputy had just retired just a few months ago and continued on in service as a special deputy. With all of his experience, we were incredibly glad to have him.
There, CG made the jarring announcement that the driver, Rodney Hinton Jr., is the father of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, who was shot and killed by Cincinnati police Thursday.
So that is currently under investigation by both our homicide unit as well as the traffic unit.
Police say Hinton Jr. has been charged with aggravated murder. He remains in critical condition at the hospital. The identity of the deputy killed was not released, but the sheriff says he was loved by everyone who knew him.
I knew the man, and I knew what a tremendous, tremendous person he is, and what a tremendous loss we have all suffered.
Man, he lost his
concluded
kid.
the emotional press conference, assuring transparency with the investigation and leaving a message for the community.
Let the processes play out. Let the investigations play out. Keep calm. Take care of one another.
Alex Knoll, WCPO 9 News.
We are starting to get statements in from multiple elected officials. Hamilton County's prosecutor says in part the investigation is ongoing, but if the facts show this act was intentional, as the charge suggests, I will throw the full force of the law at the perpetrator. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine issued a statement a short time ago saying in part, quote, I have been briefed on the ongoing investigation and am sickened by what appears to be an intentional act of violence. We offer our sincere condolences to the deputy's family, friends, and colleagues. And we're hearing from State Attorney General Dave Yost saying in part, this loss, so close to the annual remembrances, is a cool reminder of the many officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. The officers, who protect our communities day in and day out, are heroes. And remember, this is all linked to yesterday's deadly police shooting in East Price Hills. So we're taking a closer look at newly released body camera video, which shows the moments leading up to Ryan Hinton's death. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi tells us it happened quickly, saying the time between when the officers rolled up to the scene and shots were fired was just 6 seconds. CPD laid it out for us, frame by frame. The incident, as it played out, saying all 4 suspects scattered when 2 officers in marked cars drove up to a stolen car. One officer chased Hinton, who fell as he was trying to run away. When he did, officers noted a metal clinking sound. They suspected that to be a gun. Hinton then gets up and appears to run toward the other officer on the scene. And according to interviews, that officer said he noticed the suspect pointing a gun at him. Chief Fiji says the officer fired 4 or 5 shots, hitting Hinton twice. He adds that police attempted to administer first aid at the scene.
He felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm. This is where we have to go to the state of mind of the officer at the time. What are they seeing, feeling, hearing? If they feel like their life or somebody else's life is in danger, they have a responsibility to stop that threat.
Police are...
Now, people, let's go to this shooting when the officers shot and killed the son. I don't know if this was a bad shoot or a good shoot or not. I don't know with the son. But we got to see the evidence. We have to see that weapon. We have to see that weapon. There has to be a weapon because you cannot shoot somebody for running away in this situation. If he dropped the magazine and it fell on the ground, so what? If a magazine was in his hoodie, doesn't matter. That's just a magazine. A magazine is not a deadly weapon. The people have to produce a gun.
Proof of the gun. It is a magazine. He wasn't shooting. The only person who shot was the police.
Maybe they won't. I don't know. They said that they heard something fall. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that this was not a legal shoot. I don't know. The details have to come out. And we know sometimes when they give details, they're sketchy as well. Who knows?
Sketchy.
But for this to be a legal shoot, they have to produce a weapon with prints on it, DNA, whatever, all that, okay? Because officers say gun all the time. He's got a gun. Actually, that's a burnt out tactic. They don't wash that out. That's a washed out tactic that's used by many officers so that they can put it on record.
They use fake guns.
So that they can put it over the radio and shoot, so that people can say, I heard him yell gun, to legitimize when they pull the trigger and use a weapon. It's a proven fact that many officers have said gun, when there's nothing there. And they just saying that to get it on record. I don't know what the case is with this, but these people have to produce that weapon, okay? And somebody has to really pay attention to what these guys are doing. Now, this situation here is a use of deadly force situation. So, you know, all the personal opinions are really irrelevant. Of course, this young man, if he was in a stolen car, if that's the true story, he shouldn't be in a stolen car, okay? He should be doing something else. But it doesn't matter if people say, oh, well, he should be home playing Fortnite and drinking hot chocolate. Okay, whatever. This is a use of force situation. The only thing that matters here is where the officers legally justified in shooting this young man. Yes or no? That's the bottom line. They have to produce that gun. Now, as far as the dad is concerned, people, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The next day after this, the dad hit one of the brothers in blue, took him out. They're calling this vigilante justice. I mean, I don't know. Was it or wasn't it? People get in the comments. Let me know what you think about this, because in that right there, you know, I don't know. I guess they're going to go look at the skid marks on the ground and see if he slammed on the brakes or what happened before that and during that investigation. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? But they definitely want his head, people. They want his head.
They've been taking out all our people.
They already have people in law enforcement calling for the death penalty for him. They want him bad. And Ohio, people, this is Cincinnati, Ohio. Ohio is a terrible state. Terrible white people and cops there. Some of the worst people in law enforcement that I've ever met come from Ohio. I mean, these people are terrible, man. So you know, the way they think anyway is 100% us. We don't care if we made a mistake. We don't care if we did something wrong. If we took you out, you can't do the same thing back to us. We don't care the circumstances. We are always right.
That's fucked up.
I'm not saying that that's
they can take us out, but we can't take y'all out, man. Fuck y'all. Y'all been killing us and trying to take us out for the longest.
Comments. Let me know what you think about this situation here in Cincinnati, Ohio, or if you know anything about this. But they want this brother's head.
Fuck 12.
I'm waiting to see what happens as far as the investigation and what comes out with the weapon and this and that. Anyway, people, get in the comments easy.
3 signs.
I'll be back. So like I said, free Rodney Hinton, man. Free Rodney Hinton. Hey, man, say, man, the judge, man, you can tell when these judges are really trying to got it in for you, or they really trying to fuck with you. She got it in for that nigga. She just messing with that nigga, man. She probably already thinking that he's guilty as soon as he stepped on the stand. You know what I'm saying? It's weird because it's like they want us to get in front of their own people and act like they finna spare our lives when the whole time, bro, you gonna fight for the cop. Let's be honest. The judge is not finna fight for no nigga. They gonna fight for the cop, especially if some bullshit happen. So they don't kill his son. They kill his son, and they ain't trying to kill him. It just goes to show you, man, we been fighting this war. Ain't nothing been sweet. Ain't no peace, no nothing. It's on the front line. You know what I'm saying? I've been coming at these people full force. We gotta let God Yahweh handle these battles because when we put it in our hands, man, they gonna try to take us out 24/7. When we crash out, we crash out. We can't let these guys fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when it's time for us to fight for ourselves, we're gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say shout out to Rodney Hinton, because when it's time for him to fight, he came to fight. You know what I'm saying? Eye for eye type shit. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, it shows you that they just take all responsibility of them killing a kid in general, just took that off their hands. They said, well, we killed this kid, but we didn't kill this kid. So, what's going on? But him, that nigga, Rodney Hinton, he killed a cop. So he killed somebody. Like, the fuck, how can you do that? You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh yeah, we didn't kill nobody, but he died. And he the only person who died was a black kid. And Rodney Hinton taking up for his son, he killed everybody. That's why I said America KKK is some of the back racist, distorted type of shit out here. You know what I'm saying? That's why we gotta have niggas like me and other niggas like Rodney Hinton and other niggas who gonna fight that good fight and never give up, no matter how many enemies is in their face, hoping that he fail and give up and change his mind. Nah, man, we know what it comes with trying to fight for what we believe in. Crip, San Trey type shit. We know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't finna let these motherfuckers try to diminish who we are, lose our confidence, not believe who we are and stuff. The Hebrew Israelites, that's why they mad. Because we the Hebrew Israelites. They ain't got shit. They mad at that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they trying to do everything they possible to try to fuck us over. But we ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? They're making us stronger. You know what I'm saying? I liked how he stood like that. It just said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Confident. You know what I'm saying? No matter looking at death or whatever. You know that God, y'all ain't gonna be on the side during that time. But for y'all might survive, but I hate to say what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Y'all try to take our people, and hey, you can't just take our people out and beat our people up and think nothing gonna happen. We gonna fight back. You know what I'm saying? So hey, make sure y'all fuck with your boy, man. Keep on fighting this good revolution, this movement, man, because you know his family gotta be going insane right now. You know what I'm saying? His dad and them. You know what I'm saying? And you see how she trying to whole time like, oh, is he on drugs? Is he on drugs? Is he on drugs? Bitch, he pleaded not guilty. Why the fuck would you think he on drugs, bitch? Yeah, I'm pleading not guilty. The fuck, nigga? The fuck? Especially if I know I did it out of righteous act. You know what I'm saying? But hey, however this trial goes and it ends, just know he did fight for a good cause, and he pushing a good movement, and we're gonna continue to fight. And no matter what happens, we're gonna continue for our destiny and to help free and uprise more people, man. We out this bitch. Hood, Northside, big crippin', gang, Northside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.